I want to talk more about no contact and when it's a good idea to cut a girl off. And this video was inspired by a coaching call I had recently where a guy was asking me for advice on how to deal with a specific girl and how to read her behavior overall. I thought some of the principles I mentioned in that call could be of help to other guys as well, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, to start, it's important to understand that no contact is the best tool that you have in your arsenal for preserving your self-respect as a man and not wasting your time. And your number one priority with women should always be not wasting your time. Time is a finite resource that we never get back once it's gone, so you have to prioritize managing it as carefully as possible over anything else. This becomes especially important in determining what type of people to eliminate from your life and learning to be quick on the trigger when someone is clearly showing signs of not seeing eye to eye with you in terms of effort or interest. With a girl, you have to enter every single interaction with the mindset that you are willing to walk away at any time if a girl crosses your boundaries or is showing low interest. And low interest can be difficult to identify at first if you don't have a lot of experience, but it gets easier as you gain experience and as you come across women who have high interest. A woman who has high interest in you will fight to make it work. She will make herself available, she will alter her schedule in order to see you, she will take trains across the country, and she's likely to even swim a damn ocean to get to you. Seriously, women that are high interest are a different breed and they make it known. I always say that women break all the rules for a guy that they have high interest in, and I firmly believe that. On the contrary, women that aren't fully into a guy will make tons of rules. The good thing about experiencing high interest women is that it teaches you what high interest behavior looks like versus low interest behavior, and it makes it easier to know when to cut off a girl who isn't genuinely interested in you. Now, signs of a low interest woman include being flaky, never asking any questions about you, going hot and cold randomly, like one minute she's really talkative and the next she's gone for no apparent reason, inconsistent behavior, no effort in meeting up or going on dates, low effort replies in text, taking hours and hours to get back to you, and more. In a nutshell, it's all the behavior that is polar opposite of a high interest woman and opposite of behavior that would make sense for your average girl. For example, if a girl takes 12 hours to reply to your text, she's low interest because no girl is that busy. I've dated girls across some of the most intense professions that you can think of, and all of them have found the time to text multiple times in a 12-hour period, even if I hadn't sent any text myself. Plus, girls are almost always glued to their phones, so don't accept that nonsense. With this in mind, anytime a girl is showing you low interest behavior, you need to have your finger on the no contact button and be ready to move on. Some guys believe in investing time into gaming low interest women to see if they can raise their interest, and that's up to you ultimately, but for me, it's far more time efficient to simply move on to women who naturally have higher interests off the bat. And again, time is finite, and I personally don't like to spend it with a woman who is lukewarm with her behavior when there are millions of other women out there who won't act that way. Another time you should be initiating no contact is when there are any signs of disrespect, and I'm really strict with this too. As a more extreme example, there are masculine women out there that will say things like, "Oh, you idiot, haha, you dumbass," and if you ever hear those types of words leave a girl's mouth, eject her immediately.
You guys are a couple?
Yes.
How long?
2 years, yesterday.
Yesterday. Oh, congratulations. A good 2 years?
Yes.
How good?
Amazing.
Top
It was
five.
excellent.
You guys trust each other?
Yeah.
You guys swap phones for the camera to make sure you guys are loyal to each other? Can you do that?
Oh.
That works with you?
You have to open it, idiot. You have to open it, idiot.
Let's go into Snapchat. You guys use Snapchat? No?
What? Anthony.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. Not valid. Not valid.
Don't ever be these types of dudes that tolerate that behavior, even in a joking manner, because it will only get worse from there. You get more of what you allow. More commonly though, signs of disrespect are things like flaking, trying to make you jealous, mentioning other guys, being consistently late to dates, going back on her word, making demands, being moody early on, and critical or negative behavior towards you overall. Now, of course, girls are human, so things like being moody at some point is going to occur later on, but if a girl is consistently up and down with her mood early on in your interaction with her, it's a red flag, and you should be ready to pull the no contact trigger once again. For any of the other disrespectful signs like flaking, it's an instant axe from me. If you make plans ahead of time with plenty of notice and a girl flakes, there's usually another guy in the picture, or she just isn't that interested. The only exception here would be one-time occurrences where there's a legitimate emergency, but that's really rare, so don't let her waste your time and just initiate no contact. If she mentions other guys, no contact. If you feel like she's trying to make you jealous, no contact. If she's consistently late, no contact. If she goes back on her word, or you feel like there's inconsistencies in the things she says, no contact. If she's making demands or carries a negative vibe, no contact. You have to be quick to sift through your prospects and eliminate the ones that show bad signs quickly, or else you end up in situations where you are compromising yourself in order to accept a girl, or you're rationalizing a situation that you will regret later in hindsight. And if you date enough women, you will come across plenty of crazy and low value behavior. Again, keep in mind that high interest women will go out of their way to not do these things, so tolerating this type of behavior doesn't make any sense. Girls are methodical with their actions towards a guy, and they know exactly when they're giving low effort or disrespectful behavior. So you have to keep that in mind and not rationalize her behavior as being okay to tolerate. If she herself knows that she's giving you garbage behavior and treatment, why would you tolerate that? Another time to initiate no contact is when something doesn't feel right in your gut. Something just feels off, or you don't believe the stories a girl is telling you. Your gut picks up on behavior and patterns that people present to you subconsciously, and it's important to pay attention to it. You will usually have a warning from your gut before you're too deep into a situation with a girl. The problem is just that we usually ignore it by rationalizing or ignoring signs because the girl is fun or feels good in the moment. You'll save yourself a lot of time and stress if you can learn to listen to what your gut is telling you though. One exception to this rule would be that if you are a paranoid person from past traumas, or that you've been brainwashed to some degree by the things people around you or media you have exposed yourself to have told you over time. If you're a person that feels like the world is constantly out to get you, then that is a separate issue you need to work on, because it's another type of delusion, and that type of delusion can cloud your judgment and instincts just as bad in another way. But assuming you don't have any issues like that and you have a more balanced view of the world, listening to your gut is a skill that is worth working on and honing. Many times when we ask advice, we already know the answer inside, we just don't want to face it. An easy example of this is when girls will present you with some sketchy story or situation, and then they say, "But it's not what it sounds like, trust me." The truth is that it's almost always exactly what it sounds like, and many times it's even worse than you imagined. Another one is when a girl breaks her behavior patterns, such as going from texting you daily to suddenly disappearing for a day or two, or texting you good morning every day and suddenly stopping. Listen, where there is smoke, there is fire, and there's always reasons for when a girl breaks her behavioral patterns. These are the type of scenarios to take note of the twinges you get in your gut that something is off. And maybe you don't initiate no contact right away off one of them, but you should be keeping track of these things mentally to put together an overall picture of how this girl is treating you and what her character is like. And in those specific cases I named, with changing behavior patterns, telling you shady stories, and saying it isn't what it looks like, cut her off in no contact. Now, a common question I see from guys is wondering if they made the right decision in initiating no contact with a girl. In my experience, I've never regretted initiating no contact with a woman, and in hindsight, I believe this is because when you are even considering it, you know the signs to do it are already there and you should be doing it. Unless you have some issues of paranoia like I spoke about before, your mind is rarely going to bring you to a place of considering cutting off someone without good reason. It's usually things accumulating in your gut and conscious mind over time that add up and bring you to that place. People only start to doubt these decisions due to emotional ties, a scarcity mindset, or rationalizing a situation that isn't good. However, if you give it enough time and date other women, you will come to realize that the behavior you were tolerating before isn't the best you can do, and there are better options out there. Another way to view this, if you're doubting the idea to initiate no contact, is to ask yourself what advice you would give to a friend if he were in your shoes. If you remove the emotion from the situation, what would you really advise your best friend to do? This mental exercise will usually bring about the answer you know to be true, even if you don't want to face it. But if you can follow your own advice, you'll be better off for it. One more scenario I want to mention is that if a girl is simply not aligned with your goals, it's time to go no contact and move on. For example, if you're a guy that is looking for a relationship and a girl is giving you a vibe of wanting to live the single life or saying she's emotionally unavailable, cut her off. If you're wanting to pursue a specific career and a girl doesn't support you, cut her off. It doesn't make sense to continue trying to make a girl fit into a lifestyle that doesn't work for you. It's like trying to jam a square peg into a round hole, and you're just wasting your time. Ultimately, you have to learn to be your own best friend and protect your time and energy, because low quality and low interest women will drain the life out of you if you let them. Now, if you want to know why no contact is powerful to start with and how to implement it better, then make sure to check out this video next, and also check out the links in the description, and I will see you in the next one.